on the vlog again. Just can't wait to do a vlog again. The life I love is making vlogs for my friends, and I can't wait to do a vlog again. Doing a vlog again. Going places that I've never been. Seeing things that I may never see again. And I can't wait to do a vlog again. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Top Vloggers. As always, I am High and Mighty Joe. We have another great vlog for you today. We are going to the grave of Tony Curtis. It should be fun, exciting, and educational. Let's get going. We are now on the bus headed to our destination. We do not have to take a transfer today. This is the only bus that we have to take, so it should only take us about 45 minutes and we'll be there. Today's adventure brings us to the Palm Eastern Cemetery, where they have funerals and cremations. This is where Tony Curtis is spending eternity. Let's go inside, take a look around, and tell you a little bit more about it. Well, here we are at the grave of Tony Curtis. Now, Tony Curtis was actually born Bernard Schwartz on June 3rd, 1925 in Bronx, New York, to Hungarian Jewish immigrants Helen and Emanuel Schwartz. Curtis's father owned a tailor shop, and he and his family lived behind the business in a cramped apartment. His parents slept in one room, and Curtis shared the other room with his two brothers, Julius and Robert. Curtis's mother suffered from schizophrenia and would often beat the boys. In 1933, during the economic struggles of the Great Depression, Curtis's parents could no longer care for the boys financially. Now, because of this, Curtis and Julius were placed in a state institution where the boys were frequently involved in conflicts with anti-Semitic youngsters who often threw stones and started fistfights with the brothers. In 1938, Julius was hit by a truck and killed. He was 12 years old. Now Curtis was definitely shaken by the loss, and he had determined to make a better life for himself, and he decided to attend Seward Park High School on Manhattan's Lower East Side. After graduation, he enlisted in the U.S. Navy, serving in World War II aboard the submarine USS Postus. Following his honorable discharge from the military, Curtis began acting lessons in New York at the New York School for Social Research, where his classmates included fellow Seward Park alumnus Walter Matthau. Now Tony Curtis was a very good-looking young boy. He decided to get into, as we said earlier, acting. He went to Universal Pictures in 1948, and his good looks actually helped him land a contract during this time. He settled on the name Anthony Curtis, and he began a series of small movie roles, including Crisscross, 1949, Francis, 1950, and No Room for the Groom, 1952. Now, in 1951, he would marry Janet Leigh in an extremely high-profile marriage. Now, Curtis's star would go on the rise with successful roles in several films. One of my personal favorites was Houdini, which was in 1953, in which Lee was his co-star. Other films included the military comedy Operation Petticoat and Some Like It Hot with co-star Marilyn Monroe and Stanley Kubrick. Historical epic Spartacus in 1960, in which he co-starred along with Kirk Douglas and Laurence Olivier. However, things were not going so well for Mr. Curtis in 1962. He was coming upon a divorce from Janet Leigh, and that was because he had had an affair with a 17-year-old German actress, Christine Kaufmann. Now, Kaufman and Curtis would later marry in 1963 and divorce in 1967, but this was also he had had 2 children with his first wife, Kelly Lee, and his daughter, Jamie Lee Curtis, who is also in one of my favorite films, the original Halloween in 1978. Now in 1968, he would go on to marry 23-year-old model Leslie Allen. Following their divorce in 1982, he would go on to have 3 more marriages. In addition to his 6 marriages, he was also engaged to several high-profile people such as Marilyn Monroe and Natalie Wood. His final marriage was in 1998 until his death in 2010, where he married Jill Vandenberg. We will talk more about her and all of that situation a little bit later on. Now, Tony Curtis will definitely be remembered as a Hollywood heartthrob and definitely an actor with a gift of comedy. As he lays right here, we definitely will never forget he had some comedic roles, and he wrote 2 books, one entitled Tony Curtis, the Autobiography in 1993, and another one entitled American Prince, a Memoir, in 2008. I just wanted to say that I have personally read both books, and I think they were both very well written. Now, Tony Curtis, as you can see, passed away here on September 29th of 2010. In May of 2010, he changed his will, and he left everything to his widow, Jill Vandenberg, and excluded all of his children from his will. Jill Vandenberg is 42 years his junior. Julian's Auction House in Beverly Hills, California conducted the online auction and raised more than $1 million. The money went to benefit Tony's widow, Jill Vandenberg Curtis, with a portion going to the couple's charity. But the children received nothing. When Tony Curtis updated his will in May, his children were all listed, all 5 of them by name, including Jamie Lee, and states that he intentionally disinherited them. No reason was given in his will. Obviously, his children were definitely not happy about this. I can say that I guess I wouldn't be happy either. But I guess what made them more unhappy was after they had the auction, they got rid of several things, and his daughter Allegra Curtis said in an interview that the family was upset because the widow, Jill, was the only one to benefit from the auction. She arranged for it without telling the children, and what was even more upsetting to them was that she did not even offer them anything of sentimental value to remember their father by. Now that definitely sounds like there was some bad blood. I'm not exactly sure. According to the everything, it sounds like maybe the bad blood was between the children and the stepmother, Jill, and not necessarily Tony and his children. Obviously, that cannot be confirmed right now, but I mean that definitely seems to be the way it was. Some of the things that were sold in the auction was an Andy Warhol painting that sold for $53,125, and Tony's Yachtman jacket from the movie Sound Like It Hot, and also a Firebird convertible, and some other things, as well as personal letters that was sent between Tony and many celebrities such as Cary Grant, Picasso, Ted Kennedy, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. His wife also got rid of Navy medals, commemorations, and as well as Hollywood awards and medals, including Tony's Hollywood Walk of Fame plaque. She parted with personal handwritten drawings of his and even his casino membership cards, which someone paid $192 for, if you're curious. In all of these, there were almost 500 items sold. One would think that she could have spared a little something for his children. And the fact that she didn't obviously shows to me what kind of person she is. Even if Tony was not necessarily happy with his children in his last days, I don't think that was any reason to sell off over 500 items of his. There was only 5 children. You couldn't have given them all one item and still had 495 items left. So to me, that definitely says something. I definitely wouldn't have done that if it would have been my children. And I would hope that that the lovely cat obviously would not do something like that as well. And I don't believe she would. So we've had a great day here at the cemetery, visiting Tony Curtis and telling you a little bit more about his story. You can see all of the little gems and rocks and stones and things like that people have left for him. So I think that's going to do it for us here today at the cemetery, and we are going to get off onto our next adventure. Excuse me. Before we left, I just wanted to say, Tony Curtis was a great actor. He was very, very funny. And he did a lot of great things in Hollywood, and Hollywood will definitely miss him. He was 85 years old when he died, and he died of cardiac arrest. He lived his last days right here in Henderson, Nevada. He is buried here in Las Vegas. And I think that's going to do it for us here today. Off to home. Well, thank you so much for coming on this vlog. I hope you guys really enjoyed it and learned a lot. Which brings us today to our help link, which is firstplacedforyouth.com. As graduate students at the University of California at Berkeley Goldman School of Public Policy, Amy and Deanne were struck by how many young people who grew up in foster care were facing intense challenges, including poverty and homelessness, after aging out of care. With a small grant in hand and inspired to help break the cycle of poverty for these vulnerable youth, they launched First Place for Youth, the first organization in Northern California dedicated exclusively to addressing the lack of affordability of housing and resources for former foster kids. And this is definitely something that, kind of brings me to think about Tony Curtis and his children, and just how we all, things could have been different for Tony Curtis as a young child who was beaten by his mother, and for his brothers. Things could have wound up completely different for them. And I'm just glad now that someone is finally able to start an organization like this that is able to help people who are put into a foster care or a state institution or some kind of system like that. So if you could go ahead and donate, I would appreciate it. If you cannot donate, just spreading the word with your family and friends and sharing the help link, that does a lot. I know you guys probably don't really believe how much it really does, but just getting the word out there that these children definitely need help and can continue to grow with our help definitely does mean a lot. So if you could go ahead and share the help link, talk it over with your family and friends. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and we'll see you next time. Top Vloggers, out.